All right, guys, welcome to Take Your Base. I'm your host, Lava Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. Man, oh man. Now, I have a smile on my face. All right, I know my Mets have lost in the wild card round. They lost to a team that advanced to the ALCS, who ended up defeating the best team in baseball, which is the LA Dodgers, who had 111 wins, and fell short against the Philadelphia Phillies, who are advancing to the World Series. So, no congratulations to them. I'm a Mets fan. I do not care about the Phillies. All right. But this video is not about the Phillies. It's not about the Padres. It's not about the Dodgers. It's not about the Mets. It's not about any of the teams in the National League. No. This video is about do the New York Yankees re-sign Aaron Judge, and recapping about the illustrious, the magnificent performance of the Yankees performing in the ALCS against the Houston Astros. Okay? Because the Houston Astros put a whooping. And not only did they put a whooping, they swept. They grabbed the brooms and they were sweeping all over the Bronx. And I was ecstatic from game 1 up until game 4, which concluded yesterday. Game 1, you had Verlander pitching against Jameson Taillon. And honestly, Verlander didn't have his right stuff. I mean, it could have been after a long layoff because they ended up sweeping the Seattle Mariners after that long 18-inning game. And Verlander, got hit around. And honestly, I think that was a game that the New York Yankees could have stolen. All right. I'm going to pull up the stats real quick for you. Give me 1 second. That was Wednesday, yeah. Yeah, Verlander got touched up in that first inning, and it was a close game. I'm not gonna say, all right, it was a very close game. It was a 4-2 ball game. It was a game that it wasn't really out of reach for the Yankees, but Verlander didn't have his best stuff there. I mean, he was managed to able to get the win. Aaron Boone repeatedly makes questionable decisions. Pulled off Taillon, put in Clark Schmidt. I think the way that this guy managed the bullpen in this round was very, very questionable. He had Wandy Peralta pitching every single game this round, and I'm just thinking like you're gonna have to rely on your other pitchers, right? Loizaga looked pretty decent, okay. There was no Chapman because obviously the man didn't bother showing up for tryouts to see if he'll make the postseason roster. He thought that because of his name, his value, and stuff like that he'll be able to get on. But the fact that he didn't show up probably means that's the last time he's ever pitching in a Yankee uniform, right? Astros win 4-2. Yordan Alvarez, looked fantastic. I mean, he didn't have so much of a good round this time around as opposed to how he ended up playing against the Mariners. But Astros that hit 3 home runs. Harrison Bader for the Yankees. I mean, this guy was acting like Aaron Judge in the playoffs. I mean, I think he had like 5-6 home runs in the playoffs. Aaron Judge, I believe, had 2. But they were maybe 2 of the quietest home runs I've ever seen. But we'll get to Aaron Judge in just a second. But Jeremy Pena. Now, if you guys don't know, all right, rookie, all right, this guy takes over for Carlos Correa. Now, I'm a big Carlos Correa fan. Goes to Minnesota. Takes the money because Houston was not going to pay him. They already knew what they had down on the pipeline for Jeremy Pena. Jeremy Pena comes in and is phenomenal throughout the regular season. In the playoffs, he's just been swinging a very hot bat. He's been taking the shortstop reins like you would actually imagine for. And I really do believe that this kid could be the next star that they have in Houston. You have Yordan Alvarez. You have Jeremy Pena. Jose Altuve is not what he used to be. Alex Bregman is still swinging that bat. All right, Kyle Tucker is so underrated that a lot of regular baseball fans don't even know who Kyle Tucker is. All right, Martin Maldonado has looked pretty decent. Although yesterday in his game catching Lance McCullers, I mean, this guy was just dropping baseballs. I don't know if it was because of the ball. I don't know if it was because of the moisture of the ball, because it was raining here in New York. But he cost himself, which eventually, they were able to redeem themselves. But he ended up having a couple of wild pitches, a couple of pitches that he couldn't handle, a pass ball, allowing the Yankees to score eventually, taking a 3-2 lead from yesterday's game 4. All right, but let me go back towards the beginning of the series. All right, that was game 1, 4-2. Then it was game 2. Valdez versus Severino. Severino, man, this guy hasn't looked good at all, in my opinion, in this postseason. Now, he looked phenomenal from the few times I actually seen him pitch in the regular season, but in the postseason, didn't come up strong. Astros were able to tag him up early. Okay, that Bregman 3-run home run, they were able to tack on for a couple of hits off of Severino. But the bullpen of the Yankees did answer strong. Wandy Peralta did answer strong for them, minimizing the damage. But it just wasn't enough because the Astros, their bullpen is pretty lethal. They ended up, coming in, shutting the door, and closing it out with Ryan Presley, who's actually looked very, very, very phenomenal in these playoffs right now. And then they go into Game 3, right? They go to the Bronx. Game 3. It was Christian Javier versus Gerrit Cole. Now Gerrit Cole has looked phenomenal in the previous round against the Cleveland Guardians. Okay, got his 2 wins there going against Christian Javier. Gerrit Cole didn't have his stuff. I remember there was at one point in the game there was a miscommunication between Harrison Bader and Aaron Judge. You could see Harrison Bader calling off Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge is still running. What's it called? Runs in front of Bader, obstructs his view, and Bader drops the baseball, right? Aaron Judge is like 6'7", 6'8". Harrison Bader has to be around my height, 5'10", if not maybe a little bit shorter, like 5'9". And Bader drops the ball, crucial error, all right? It allowed a run to score, and it allowed the Yankees to fall on the 8 ball. Astros take the lead, all right? They capitalize on the errors. You had the Chas McCormick 2-run homer in the beginning of that game. Christian Vasquez hitting a 2-run single. So you had Gerrit Cole, he tried to do whatever he could. He was able to strike out 7. Wasn't able to, have his offense, do any of the work. Aaron Judge, all right, in my opinion, hasn't a squat whatsoever. Like I said, those 2 home runs that he had hit, had maybe like 5 hits throughout the playoffs. Those 2 home runs that he had hit, maybe one of the quietest 2 home runs I've ever witnessed. He hasn't done anything at all. Giancarlo Stanton, carried the load. Harrison Bader has carried the load. All right, Anthony Rizzo has been very consistent. All right, everybody else on the Yankee squad hasn't done anything whatsoever. Glaber, quiet. Donaldson, quiet. Their catcher, who was it? Trevino, quiet. Who's their left fielder? Can't remember off the top of my head. Oswaldo Ramirez or whatever his name is. Quiet. But I gave him a pass because he's a rookie, right? I got to give him a pass because he's a rookie, all right? Everybody else. Oh, and Aaron Judge, quiet. All right. Only Stanton, only Bader, only Rizzo. All right. Everybody else completely quiet, hasn't done anything whatsoever in their time in the playoffs. The 2 home runs by Judge didn't mean anything for a Yankee fan. All right. Me personally, I was happy about it because I was like, I want to see the Yankees lose. All right. I don't want to see the Yankees in playoffs. Last thing I need is for my friends that are Yankee fans, come down hard on me saying that they made it the World Series and the Mets didn't, all right? It is what it is, all right? Whatever. But going into Game 4, now this was a game that I think the Yankees had the ability to have, but they just got outclassed, right? First inning, you had the Astros, get blanked out. First inning for the Yankees, they tag on, 2-run lead, right? Astros don't score anything in the second. You had the Yankees get another run. So already they're on a very quick 3-0 lead. And then comes the error. Then comes the mistakes. Then comes the Houston Astros, capitalizing on mistakes that the Yankees should have been able to capitalize. Because Jeremy Pena, this kid, I told you, he is coming. He is coming. All right? There's a reason why the Astros were very comfortable letting Carlos Correa go. Okay? Because Jeremy Pena, this man just blasted a 3-run home run to tie the game. All right? To make sure that the Astros were dead even with the Yankees. Okay? And then after that, you had another run score. Yankees come back. They tied the game. All right. And then from there on forward, I believe it was the 6th, 7th inning. I think it was the 7th inning. They had to take Wandy Peralta out. Loaiza comes in, has a quick, 1, 2, 3 inning in the 6th. 7th inning, I believe it was Loaiza, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was Loaiza. Altuve single. And then they were supposed to have a double play. That didn't turn out well. Jordan ends up tying the game for them, if I'm not mistaken. And then Alex Bregman comes in, smacks a single, gets the go-ahead run. And then that's when Dusty Baker puts out his 3 horsemen. He starts it off with Brian Abreu, right? Shuts down the Yankee lineup. Then brings in former Met, Rafael Montero. Shuts down, all right, 1, 2, 3 inning. And then they bring out the closer, Ryan Presley. 1, 2, 3 inning, shuts them down. Inning over, game over. Houston wins, going on to the World Series for back-to-back seasons, all right? They're trying to win their first title since 2017. They're also trying to win a title for Dusty Baker, who has been around the game for 30, 40 years, all right? Hasn't won a ring. I would love to see Dusty Baker get a ring, all right? I think it's well deserved, for all his time that he's got there. I think he should have won a ring when he was with the San Francisco Giants back in 02, 01, or whatever the year that was that the Giants ended up making it to the World Series and lost to the Angels. But I think this might be the year that Dusty Baker gets a ring. Now going into Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, right? What do you do with this guy? This guy is asking for a 7-8 year deal, all right? This guy is going to be 31, once the offseason has officially hit for all 32 teams, right? I really do believe that Aaron Judge, to me, if you're asking me, I'm not giving him an 8-9 year deal, all right? I understand he had a very historic year. The man the man played in 157 games, had hit 62 home runs, has driven in 131 RBIs. I believe it was 111 walks that he drew. Average-wise, I think he ended up coming out second, if not third. I believe it was second. I know he was chasing for a triple crown. Phenomenal numbers right there. Phenomenal numbers, right? He loses out the batting title to Luis Urias. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, man was heavily fatigued out. I think he got the rest that he needed. I think that, everything that he, was trying to battle for leading into the postseason kind of drained him out, which is why he had a 7-game skid, why he didn't have a home run, why, he had another 5-6 game skid for him to break the record, okay? I do believe that Aaron Judge was mentally fatigued out, but that is no excuse because the man historically has not had a good track record in the postseason. And, what you do in the postseason matters, right? I'm trying to pull up his postseason stats right now. me a second. Postseason stats, right? For his entirety time in the postseason, right? Career postseason stats. The man has a 211 batting average. Okay, pretty low. All right. Man has 13 home runs, 25 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. On base, a .772. I'm sorry, a .772 on base percentage. Has had 171 plate appearances. Okay, for this postseason, the man has 36 plate appearances, has a .139 batting average, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 1 stolen base, on base percentage way low compared to his career average in the playoffs. He has a on base percentage for the 2022 playoffs as a .490. That is ridiculously low. Now, that is either maybe pressure that he's been dealing with, mental fatigue, physical fatigue, all right, stress, whatever it may be, all right. But the man hasn't been hitting at all in these playoffs. The man has been riding the coattails of his teammates. Now, I know he has carried his teammates into the playoffs, but once coming into the playoffs, hasn't done anything. They have always said it. Legends are created in the playoffs, all right? That's why we remember these historical moments, all right? We love to hear, milestones and achievements and stuff like that, but it's very simple. It's winners and losers, all right? And if you don't perform, if you don't succeed in the playoffs, we're not going to remember your performances that you had in the regular season. It just doesn't sit well. He could have had a very, very, phenomenal year, and he could have definitely entered free agency with a lot of leverage. But now he has this stigma next to him that he doesn't perform well in the playoffs. All right, and it's not the first time, it's not the second time, not the third time. Pretty much since he entered the big leagues, he hasn't done well at all. All right, and the fact that yes, he has 13 home runs. All right, yeah, it's because he's playing an exorbitant amount of games compared to other teams. He's getting more opportunities, but he hasn't taken the opportunities that he needed to distance himself out. Now, Aaron Judge, in my opinion, does he stay with the Yankees? I don't think so. I think the Yankees do offer him a big time contract. All right, I want to say maybe 7 years. All right, pushing him to him 38 years old. Question is, how much money they're going to give him? I think that they're going to give him 290, 300, maybe no more than 310. That's as far as I think the Yankees will go. Do I think that he's going to sign a contract bigger than 310? More than likely, yeah. All right. I don't know if San Francisco, because that's the team that a lot of people are linking him up with, if that's going to be the team that he signs with. I personally do believe that he might not even sign with San Francisco. I have a strong feeling the man might sign with the Cubs, and here's why. The Cubs, they enjoyed, the fans, they enjoy, their team, all right? They don't boo. They're always, cheery. I mean, they are in a rebuild mode. I know they signed this past offseason Marcus Stroman. I think they're trying to build up to getting to where they were back in 2016 when they ended up winning it all right? I know they have some players in their farm system. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, all right? I know he's one of the top prospects that was traded from the Mets. They have a couple of good prospects in their farm system that are going to be coming up. I think if they get Judge, I think that could be a huge, transition for the Cubs to go in the right direction. I don't think it's going to be something where Aaron Judge is going to be competing for titles consistently, but I think that, him, his presence, the fact that, if they give him a 7-8 year contract, it works well that all 32 teams have a DH, so I could see him being a DH down the line. I don't see him being a first baseman. I can see the Cubs giving him, a very big contract just to attract a big team to come into Wrigley. Not that they need people to come into Wrigley, because people are going to come to Wrigley no matter what, whether it's fans or tourists. But I think the Cubs might be the team that get Aaron Judge to be lured in. All right. Other teams, I don't think it's the Dodgers. Depending on new ownership with the Angels, because I think the Angels are going to have new ownership. Maybe the Angels, but that would be a very what's it called, Anaheim Angels thing to do, to just keep paying for big stars and giving long-term contracts. We saw what happened with Albert Pujols, Anthony Rendon. That contract hasn't looked well at all. Mike Trout has had a down year, and who knows if he's gonna get back to how he was, just because of the back issues and stuff like that. Shohei Ohtani definitely wants out, so who knows? Can't think of any other team. San Diego's kind of strapped with money because of the whole Juan Soto deal and Manny Machado deal that they have. LA, I don't know if they have any more money that they could be dishing out for big time contracts. Yankees are definitely in the play. I don't see him going to Boston, although that's a team that did say that they will be pushing hard. Do I see the Mets being a play for them? I think so, but my whole thing is, I don't think Aaron Judge doesn't want to go to the Mets. Me personally, I wouldn't mind him going to the Mets, but not for the amount of money that he's asking for or years. I want the Mets to actually focus on getting younger talent. But yeah, those are the teams that I think that are gonna give him a good pitch. It would be the Yankees, the Giants, the Cubs, the Red Sox, and maybe the Mets. But I don't really count the Mets. I really see it coming down to 2-3 teams. I'm saying the Cubs just because of the money that they have at their disposal, and they have a lot of expiring contracts on their roster. But those are the 3 teams that I think he might go to: San Francisco, Chicago, Cubs, or New York Yankees. All right, guys. Until then, I am Flavio Oriana. Thank you for watching Take Your Base. Let me know in the comment section below where Aaron Judge is going to go. And do you think the Houston Astros are going to win it all this year? All right, until then, guys, have a good one. Peace, guys, and see ya.